is Catalano, and I would like to ask you a question. Do you think it is fair for these people to be able to marry? And it would be two heterosexual couples, while these people, two homosexual couples, can't even be accepted as a couple. Because to me, I cannot tell the difference between the two. They both seem happy and in love. Just because they are of the same sex does not mean they should not have the right to marriage. It is unfair for some people to have the right to marriage while others are left with a civil union or no recognition at all. Why should it matter what your sexual orientation is? It is discrimination and goes against our constitutional rights. By the end of my speech, I would have persuaded you that everyone deserves an equal right to marriage, regardless of sexual preference. I will start by defining what marriage means, then go on to how it is unconstitutional and unfair for the homosexual community, and later, how it is an individual's decision, not a governmental one. Marriage is defined as a union between two people who are in love, making a commitment to one another to spend the rest of their lives together. For Brady Black, author of article Gay Marriage, Why Same-Sex Couples Should Get Married, getting married to her wife was something unexplainable. She was no longer her girlfriend, but now her life. Marriage is taking that step to a full commitment to another person, to get in front of all your friends and family and show how much you truly love someone. It is to show everyone around you that it is so much more than just a relationship, but a start of a new life and family. Banning same-sex marriage goes against U.S. citizens' constitutional rights. Under the 14th Amendment, it guarantees the citizens of the United States equal rights. All citizens who reside within a state are rightfully granted life, liberty, and property, and the right to due process by the state. They should not be denied equal protections of the law, but not allowing same-sex marriage to take its place creates an inequality. Just as when there was banning on interracial marriages, they are not allowing the individual to marry who they want. From a legal point of view, there are 9 states within our country that have officially legalized same-sex marriage. That is about 17% of our country. As you would have seen in the map behind me, all the states are dark green that have legalized same-sex marriage. Whereas over 42% of our population lives in states that doesn't even recognize a civil union or domestic partnership, which would have been all white in the map. The statistics were from freedomtomarry.org. Now that we have a better understanding of what marriage is and how it goes against the constitutional rights, let's take a look on how it brings about an unfairness issue. It is unfair for same-sex couples that would not be able to receive same benefits as couples of opposite sex. As Hess, McElroy, and Coyce state in their article, Same-Sex Marriage and the 14th Amendment, some of the benefits that opposite-sex married couples receive include income tax deductions, the ability to file joint taxes, the ability to receive a spouse inheritance upon death, family visitation rights, and the right to hospital visitation and next of kin to make medical decisions during an emergency. It would be unfair during a medical emergency the person you love most in this world and not be able to see them in their time of need or make an important decision because you're not a spouse under the law. Now that we see the unfairness issue, let's view the government's understanding of it and how it should not be in their control. Marriage is given to each man and woman, not each couple, so each citizen should have the right to marriage. It should not matter with whom they choose to marry. Marriage has just become a way for the government to control its citizens rather than a way to show one's true love to another person. As Kurtzman states in his article, Decrease Government Control of Marriage, quote, "It is an issue that the government created with its own flawed beliefs of controlling the people. Marriage licenses remain an easy way for the government to unnecessarily regulate people," end quote. Marriage is something to be shared with love, family, and your church, not the government. Government has mangled marriage into a scenario of special privileges and tax breaks rather than supposed purpose of love, commitment, and the union of two souls. Kurtzman also states the government should return the power back to families and churches. They should only be able to recognize the marriage license. It should not be the government's role to define marriage, control marriage, and make decisions that should be left to the local level. Same-sex couples should have the right to marriage. It is about equality, not sexual orientation. I hope one day the map will be covered in all green and all of the country will have legalized same-sex marriage. Thank you.
Wait a second, before you sit down, before you just stand there for a second. Could you, that was 5 minutes and we'll call that 40 seconds. Well, of all the arguments that you just presented, which one is the strongest one, do you think?
I would say the unfairness issue, maybe.
The unfairness. I would agree. I thought that was the strongest. And what aspect of that did you feel was? What do you remember that you said in that argument that that you think really would be convincing that you know marriage equality is good? This unfairness part. What is it that really bugs you about the unfairness?
I would say like when it's an emergency and there's medical issues and like you're not allowed to have visitation or to make an important decision when it comes to life, if they're on life support or something, and you can't say whether, because you're not under the law, their spouse, it's a civil union or whatever it may be.
Okay, all right. And you feel that's an important reason why we should be able to get married wherever we love. Okay, good, thank you.